Wait, I'm sorry. You mean to tell me that the Rams, that the team that doesn't play well together, the team that just lost 3 straight against good teams and could only beat Jacksonville, the team that no Robert Woods, Cam Akers, Darrell Henderson, Rob Havenstein, Terrell Lewis, Von Miller left the game, Jalen Ramsey. Hold on a sec. Sebastian Joseph Day, Tyler Higbee, Jacob Harris, Tutu Atwell, Brian Allen. You mean to tell me that they beat the 10-2 Cardinals at home on Monday Night Football? No. It's definitely not like anything I said pregame, or like we were saying, right? Let's put some only winners get some nice lighting in the background. So let's make sure we make that nice Rams blue and yellow. There we go. Welcome to the winners edition of JE Live. I am your host, Jake Ellenbogen, and I'm coming to you tonight. It's 11:26 p.m. Eastern Time on the East Coast for me, and I'm coming to you tonight because, well, this is the winners edition where, winners are talked about. And, look, I heard it all. What did I say? I said you can go on, with all due respect, I have friends that work at those stations. It's not necessarily them. It's not everybody over there. But you can go on ESPN. You can go on your Fox Sports 1. You can go on your NFL Network. What did I tell you? I said they'll say over and over again, the Cardinals are going to win. They'll say it's because Jalen Ramsey isn't playing, and check notes, David Long is going to be the cornerback, and they would make a punchline about it. But at the end of the day, what did I say? I said the Rams are going to come out, and they're still going to win this game. And they're going to play, and they're going to show heart. And this idea, this unbelievably garbage, regurgitated crap narrative that the Rams can't play together and OBJ is a cancer was a load of crap, okay? And it's proven today. Not only is Matthew Stafford an MVP candidate, he is the MVP favorite, and he proved it tonight. You can go through stretches. You can go through bad stretches. It's a long season. Where was everybody now that, Tom Brady, the GOAT's going to win the MVP? Where were those people when Matthew Stafford went head-to-head with Tom Brady and the defending Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers and beat him on a primetime setting in front of where were people with that? So this idea, Matthew Stafford isn't an MVP. He's not even in the conversation. Well, he sure played well for a quarterback that's not in the conversation, I can tell you that much. And that cancer OBJ, let me tell you, what a cancer. Catching a touchdown. I mean, having the wherewithal to understand how things work, how the time would continue to tick if he took less yards. Wouldn't cancers want more to their stat total and not want to take away their yards? I don't know. Seems like a cancer to me, though, right? Oh, this super team. It's all about the super team. They go out and they get Von Miller, and they go out and they get OBJ. They're all a super team. They're the Nnamdi Asomugha Eagles. They can't win. They can't play together. They can only beat the Jaguars. They're done. They're frauds. I heard it all. And quite honestly, I was sick of that shit. I was thinking about hearing it all week long and not taking them seriously. I was sick of that. And you know why? Because what did I say about the Jacksonville game? The Jacksonville was the get-right game. The Rams were able to re-establish their identity this late in the season, while the Bills are still trying to figure that out at 7-6. Team that, for whatever reason, more people picked to win the Super Bowl than the Rams. But I digress. The Rams figured out, they re-established their identity, and this is what happened. And if you're wondering why Sony Michel averaged 5.7 yards per carry in the first half and was somewhat shut down in the second half, I know what you're thinking. This is going to be a pro Darrell Henderson comment. It is not. It's going to explain to you exactly what happened. Sony Michel didn't run rampant in the second half because the Cardinals, they sold out to stop the run. Amazing. The Rams got to the point in Cliff Kingsbury, Van Joseph's mind that they were more likely to run the ball and have success running the ball than throw it, which actually led the Cardinals to stop double teaming Cooper Kupp and sell out to stop the run. It is unbelievable to me what happens when you have a consistency there. Unbelievable, okay? Absolutely unbelievable. Except it's not. This is how it happens. This is why you have to be consistent. You have to run the football. You have to throw the football. You have to be consistent in all three phases. Special teams could have cost the Rams tonight. Let's call it like it is. You have to be able to get that onside kick, sit on it, game over. They didn't do that, so the defense had to go out there and make a stop. And, of course, who else would it end on with an Aaron Donald sack? I mean, come on now. But I would just say this, okay? The Cardinals are a very good football team. This is not a knock on them, nor should anyone be knocking on them, okay? But at the end of the day, I've been saying this, the Cardinals are better maybe now, going into this game, they were better then. The Rams are, when they are healthy, and they weren't even healthy tonight, but when they're healthy, they're the best team in the NFL. They are the Super Bowl favorites. Tonight showed you that. They dug down deep, and they won this game. They won it with Kareem Moore starting on the outside against one of the best wide receivers in football. They won it with David Long, who struggled down the stretch, last year, and he struggled in week 4 against the same team. He came to play, made a great play on Nuke Hopkins. They won it with those guys. They won it with Kendall Blanton having to fill in for Tyler Higbee. They won it with Joseph Noteboom having to fill in for Rob Havenstein, because that's what good teams do. That's what great teams do. They don't just hang around. They finish the job, and they win despite all the odds being stacked against them. And we saw that in Lambeau, guys. I said this before the game. We saw the great teams like the Green Bay Packers. Didn't matter that Jair Alexander was out. It didn't matter that half their offensive line was out. They came to play. They beat the Rams. It didn't matter how close it was. They beat the Rams, because all anyone cares about is wins and losses, not how they happen. And so the Rams take care of business on the road in Arizona on Monday Night Football with all sorts of injuries and a last second, oh, hey, by the way, Jalen Ramsey and Tyler Higbee can't play because COVID concerns. And they take care of business, 30-23. I should have stuck with my original projection. I switched 31-24 Rams to 37-33 Rams. So I should have stuck with that. Hindsight's 2020, I guess. I don't know what's going on with the stream, guys. It's annoying because it keeps kicking people out. We were close to 200, and now people are getting kicked out. So it looks like I'm pissing people off, but I can assure you I'm not. Or maybe I am. You guys let me know. But yeah. Wow. Okay. So let's get those likes up. Be sure to share this with every Rams fan you know. Let's keep this thing going. Damn, that was that's one of the top wins I think I've seen the Rams have in quite some time. That's one of my favorites, I would say. And by the way, guys, look, this game came down to the wire. But should it have? I mean, realistically, people will look at the box score. People will they watched Gamecast. They didn't watch the game. They'll look at 30-23 and say, oh, the Cardinals had a chance, or the Cardinals almost won. But in reality, I mean, the Rams, they outplayed Arizona the whole game. So the Rams, if you look at the win probability, the Rams were favored to win from the 13-13 mark and on. So when they kicked off in the second half, they were favored to win 52.2%, and it never changed. At one point, it went down to 77.2 when Arizona scored a touchdown to make it 27-20. But, I mean, when you were talking, like the Rams, they kick the field goal, and then they have a 95% chance to win the game. So, no. Arizona had more total yards, sure. They had 2 turnovers. It was a pretty decent time of possession battle. You had the Rams with 29 minutes and 4 seconds to Arizona's 30 and 56. Arizona had more first downs, but if this doesn't show you that stats really can be misleading, I don't know what does, because the Rams really just outplayed Arizona almost from beginning to end. So, yeah, that was, wow. That I see a lot of people. What's up, guys? I'm glad that you're back. I don't know why it kicked so many people out, but I appreciate, your consistent support and the fact that you rejoined, despite the fact that, I don't know, YouTube is trying to be a jerk to me right now. Let's get it on Discord. I want to see if people can join, if it's already, I don't know if it's already posted. And I did get some donations, so I want to shout those people out tonight. Let's see. Rams win tonight makes it 5 winning seasons in 5 years under Sean McVay, which is a model of consistency. Let's see here. What's up, Jobo? I see you. Let's see. Okay, we got Matthew. Thank you so much for donating earlier. Sorry I missed you. Great team win tonight, guys. Can't stick around, guys. Got to get some shut-eye. Go Rams. Thank you so much for stopping by and donating. Brandon, thank you so much for donating. I knew we were going to win, Jake. LOL, I said we would win by 7. Good stuff there, Brandon. Thank you for donating. Darius, my man Darius, thank you so much for donating. I'm trying to read your thing here. What's up, Jake? And Ramley, big win tonight. As long as we play smart and physical, I doubt we lose any more games. I mean, I agree. And, this is a good sign moving forward, going against, the San Francisco 49ers, week 18. I don't want to look too far ahead because obviously they have to play the Vikings. They have to play the Seattle Seahawks. We get that. They have to play the Ravens. But San Fran, week 18, if this game doesn't show you the Rams' recipe for success and how they can beat San Francisco, I don't know what does, because quite honestly, the Cardinals have one of the most explosive offenses, and they still went for a ton of yards. People will say Raheem Morris needs to be fired, but hate to break it to you for those people, Raheem Morris's defense has been playing lights out the last 2 weeks, albeit one was against the Jaguars, but it kind of showed you. And this is why, and I kept saying this, if the Rams come out and they establish their dominance and they beat Arizona on the road, this is before the COVID stuff, if they come out and they win on the road before all of that, that tells me everything we saw against Jacksonville, was legit, okay? Everything. Also, I see what you're saying there. Yes, hope you guys played the Prize Picks challenge tonight that I gave you. Guys, if you bet $20, you would have won $200. We nailed it, man. We nailed it. We got Sony Michel over. We got Kyler over. We got Cup over. Odell clearly over 10. And Taylor Rapp got a gang tackle at the end, which gave him 5 tackles, $360 on Prize Picks. So definitely, if you're not doing Prize Picks, you're missing out, my friends. Pretty awesome stuff there. But we're not just going to talk about betting, although I will say thank you to Prize Picks for sponsoring the channel. And if you guys want to check it out, the link is in the description, and I'll drop a link in the comments section once again. But, man, we're going to have some fun. We're going to celebrate. I'm on the East Coast, and I don't really care what time it is. I'm going to be streaming as long as I want, right? I mean, I don't have a time limit. I have to stop streaming or anything like that. So, as long as that's all right with you guys, of course, please hit the like button. I see we're already over 100. Love to see that, by the way. Really do appreciate that. For whatever reason. Okay, there we go. I just want to make sure. All right, so love to see that. This is going well. very awesome live stream. I thought we kicked it off well, kind of had an idea of where we were going. With the pregame live stream, I thought that worked out really well, and now here we are. We're starting to get some people in. It's always different, right? When you see your team win on prime time, and let's turn up those lights a little bit because, winners like a lot of lights, right? So there we go. See more of that gold or yellow, whatever you want to call it. But, man, feels good. Feels good to get the win. Feels good to see this team bounce back. I mean, I know we've seen this and we've talked about this. I mean, let's call it like it is. Last year, this team won 10 games. They probably should have won 12. I said that. I tweeted it out during the game because Matt Gay has been one of the best kickers, whether you realize it or not. He has. And if they had him last year, the whole year, they probably win 12 games instead of 10. Probably win 2 of the games that they lost. So that was something. But in this game, Matthew Stafford looking the part of an MVP. 9.6 average, okay? 9.6 yards per completion average. He went off. I don't care about the yards. He was efficient. 23 of 30 for 287 and 3 touchdowns for 139.2 passer rating. You had Sony Michel go for 4 yards per carry. Again, it's 20 carries for 79 yards. It's not the flashiest. He didn't score touchdowns. Doesn't matter. Sony Michel carried the rock and made it so difficult for the Cardinals. And this is where I was getting at before we started losing people. I'm glad we have those people back in here. Think about this, okay? Sony Michel starts running and, getting those carries and keeping the defense honest. And you know what happens when that happened? They couldn't double Cooper Kupp anymore. It was no longer a possibility. So because they couldn't double Cooper Kupp, all of a sudden, if you put the puzzle pieces together, it makes pretty obvious sense why Cooper Kupp in the second half was more explosive and more open than in the first. In the first, they wanted to double Kupp. That's what they wanted to do. When they realized that the Rams were keen on running the football and they could have success with Sony Michel, who was averaging 5.7 yards per carry at the half, they had to change up their game plan. This is why, to have a balanced passing attack, a balanced rushing game, this is why they can be dangerous. And we're not even talking about them having Henderson, Higbee, Akers yet. I mean, those guys will come back. And what did I say in the preview, okay? What did I say in the pregame stream, for those of you who remember? Get past this game, okay? It sucks now, but moving forward, the Rams are just going to get healthier. They're going to get better. That is the thing. You get past this game and you're good. Man, we got some appreciate you guys donating. Sushi for breakfast, Jake. When you write, you write. I appreciate that. Jake, your live chat conflicts with the post-game press conference. Have you thought of a way to get some viewers from there who don't know about you? Yes, but I'm also doing the live stream, and I don't want to be that guy that's like, hey guys, come over here and stop watching the Rams, because then I'll be on their bad side. But you guys, if you guys are in that as well, and say on your phone while you're watching me on your computer or something, if you want to just drop a comment and say, hey, go check out Jake Ellenbogen on YouTube, check out his live stream. He does a Rams post game every week. After this is over, you can head on over because he'll still be streaming. If you guys want to do that for me, I would definitely appreciate that. What did I always say? I stopped saying it for a while, but with the podcast, if you guys are longtime listeners of Downtown Rams, you'll know I used to always say, if you like me or if you like this podcast, go tell somebody. And I think that's the best way, word to mouth advertising. If you like this, go tell somebody you like it. Go tell somebody about me. Does help me out. Really do appreciate it, as well as the likes, which we're getting more likes on this than we got in the pre-game stream. We're at 152, over 230 people live. Love to see it. Thank you, Matt. I see you with the podcast comment. Really do appreciate that. Sharbinks, are we going to talk about D-Will? Dude looked like Ramsey, played like Ramsey, owned Hopkins like Ramsey. What did I say, pregame, if you guys saw? Look, D-Will put together his best, most complete game as a corner this year last week. And like I said, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's great and all, but he had to go up against guys like Marvin Jones and Laviska Shenault. to see that translate this week, and it didn't start off all that great for him. He got better as the game progressed, and he made some crazy plays. And honestly, let's call it like it is. D-Hop got away with a offensive pass interference on that first one. The second one was a nice play for him to, knock the ball out. The first one was offensive pass interference, but D-Will balled out, as well as David Long, like I kind of alluded to. If you guys remember, I was like, hey, this is a huge opportunity for David Long. If he comes out and plays well, he can build off this, get some confidence. And so, he had a good game. Kareem Orr, shout out to him. That is not easy, okay? Kareem Orr didn't have the best game. I'm not going to lie. But this guy came straight off the practice squad after not seeing any sort of reps during the regular season, and they didn't even waste time. They're like, hey, Kareem, I know you haven't seen any sort of reps in the NFL this season besides preseason, but we're going to have you line up on the first snap of the game against DeAndre Hopkins. Good luck. So I thought he did a really good job being thrown in the fire like that. Shout out to him. That was tough. Again, not his best game, but it's only going to make him stronger. These type of games, guys, this is how you build depth. You talk about depth. It's good or bad depth, whatever, it's depth. But this is a game where you get those depth guys to get their feet in the water. They're actually getting opportunities. We talked about that a lot, probably annoyed some of you, how many times I said opportunity, but it's huge. And I can't stress it enough, man. Getting these guys these reps, if they're needed in the playoffs, they've played in this big game now. I mean, David Long was playing on Monday Night Football against some of the best receivers and one of the most explosive offenses in football, and he came up big. Long made a huge pass breakup on a deep play down the left sideline to DeAndre Hopkins. Just an unbelievable pass breakup by him. So, I see what a job Morris. You guys know where I stand on Raheem Morris. I think he doesn't get enough credit. Thought he adjusted very well in this game. They had a really nice game plan coming in. They blitzed. They sent pressure. They got to the quarterback. And when they didn't, a lot of these guys had to make plays, and they had to, really shore up their coverage. And, of course, you did see that. I thought you got some good contributions out of the linebackers. Shout out to Ernest Jones with the pick. You saw Justin Hollins getting his feet wet back into the rhythm of things. Love to see that. Cullen Hamilton, thank you so much for donating. I see you there. And I see CT Rams fan. Mad props to Nostra Jakemas. Damn, that's going to stick. Appreciate you. Thought you were wearing rose-colored glasses in the pregame stream, but those glasses see the future. Go Rams. Hey, appreciate that, my friend. Just felt like, really at the end of the day, this team was going to shock some people. But I didn't really feel like they deserved to be shocked. If you really saw this team and you really took, every game is an NFL game, and any given Sunday, and if you took that Jacksonville game seriously and not just made a meme about it or a joke about it, you really took it seriously. You could see the Rams were somewhat trending back in the right direction. We just needed to see them kind of, translate that to this game, and they did that. Personally, let's call it like it is. The Rams probably could have won by more. They played more conservative to make sure and maintain the fact they wanted to win this game. They wanted to win on the road. I like the decision to kick the field goal. And also, let's call it like it is. I have been a defender of Cliff Kingsbury, okay? People have been saying before the season started he should be fired, and I thought it was laughable. I said, this guy is a very good coach. He's up and coming. Let him continue to develop. But his arrogance, and we've seen this on the other side. We've seen this with McVay. Cliff Kingsbury's arrogance cost the Cardinals in a game that they had no business being in. In my opinion, Rams outplayed the Cardinals from beginning to end. But if you remember, Kingsbury went for it on fourth down twice. If he had kicked the field goal, that is 6 points those two times with pretty much an automatic kicker in Prater. And we're talking that those 6 points, the Rams won 30-23. That is a completely different end of the game if he kicked the field goal on those two occasions. Instead, Rams defense stepped up, made the plays. Like I said, Cliff got a little arrogant there on the first one. The second one was pure arrogance, and it worked out well for the Rams. So you got to love it. Again, he's a young coach. It happened. Sean McVay's a young coach. It happens. But hey, it might have cost them this game. Like I said, they didn't exactly deserve to win this game. Rams made some great plays. And let's not forget the missed, and I understand they won the game, but I got to get this off my chest, folks. The missed blatant face mask was the worst missed call this entire game. I cannot believe for the life of me that they missed that. And then some of the announcers were like, yeah, it's really hard to see that. I'm not even going to go all the way to it, but you guys know where I stand on that. That really, I think that's what kept the Cardinals in the game. If they call that face mask on third down on that sack, then it's going to be 1st and goal Rams, whole set of downs, likely Sony Michel, heavy dose of him, maybe a patient fade to an OBJ, Cup, Van Jefferson. Either way, I think the Rams score a touchdown instead of kicking the field goal. That was a garbage missed call, and I had to throw that out there. YouTube is owned by Cardinals fans. That is funny. Let's see. Man, I appreciate the donations, guys. Thank you, Jake, for the content. Let's go Rams. Thank you, Hot and Sweaty Halo. Appreciate you. Louisiana Tough, thank you so much for donating. Dark Saver, thank you so much for donating as well. Ernest Jones, David Long, Van, Noteboom. How do you think all these players? But man, we look so good. Our defense looked dominant, even with or in our offense looked like a great. OBJ is looking like straight fire. Same with Sony. Yeah, and here's the thing, guys. OBJ, OBJ, man, he is back to where he was before the Browns. And if no one can see that, I'm sorry. He's probably going to be a reason your team gets knocked out in the playoffs. I mean, let's call it like it is. OBJ just did something like I alluded to in the pregame he just did something he hasn't done since 2015. Back-to-back-to-back games with the touchdown catch he hasn't done since week 13 through 15 of 2015. Oh, by the way, even more crazy. OBJ has 3 touchdowns in his first 3 games with the Rams. He caught 3 touchdowns his entire time with Cleveland. If he caught another touchdown in this game, the last 3 games, he would have had as many touchdowns as Baker Mayfield has thrown in the last 3 games. I'm just saying. So, pretty crazy stuff there. Zaka, I'm sorry if I got your name wrong. Appreciate you donating, passing it to on 3rd and 2 and then 4th and 1. Yeah, exactly. OBJ, I think he's going to remain a Ram. I think the Rams were geniuses for getting in on that, which I did call, by the way. All right, let's see here. Jake, what do you think how OBJ is working out? I think he's doing, OBJ is a monster, man. He's working out very well. Let's go through the stats. We had, Matthew Stafford, 287, of course. We had that. Sony Michel, 20 carries, 79 yards, 4 yards per carry. Like I said, he did his job. The Rams, here's the funny thing. James Conner was great tonight, but he was great in the passing game. 9 catches, 94 yards, exactly what they needed. In the running game, he had 2 rushing touchdowns. But believe it or not, the Rams held James Conner to 2.4 yards per carry, which is less than he had in the first game they played, when he also had, I believe, 2 touchdowns in that game. He was held to 2.8 yards per carry in that game. So, I should probably get some water or something. My throat's probably going to give out. But, 13 carries for 31 yards. Rams shut down the run once again. Kyler Murray isn't exactly the running game, right? It's a little different when you have guys covering and then Kyler goes out and decides to scramble. That's different. That's not really run defense. So there's that. Let's see. Okay, so looking at it, the Rams held DeAndre Hopkins to 54 yards without Jalen Ramsey. Cooper Kupp had 13 catches for 123 yards and a touchdown on 15 targets. If you remember, the worst game Kupp has had all season, he had under 70 yards, and it was against Arizona. So here he is coming through, 123 yards. McVay did a nice job of drawing up plays for him, getting him involved, had a 44-yard play. OBJ had a 40-yard play, 6 catches, 77 yards, and a touchdown on 7 targets. And how about Van Jefferson? Hey, remember when people said that Van Jefferson wasn't a deep threat, and I said that he was? Well, today, he catches a 52-yard pass down the seam and had 2 catches for 58 yards and a touchdown. Kendall Blanton got on the stat sheet with 2 catches for 29 yards on 3 targets. You did have a Matthew Stafford fumble. He recovered that. On the defensive side, you had 3 sacks from Aaron Donald and 1 from Greg Gaines. Man, Greg Gaines is playing his tail off right now. Aaron Donald is also killing it. Gaines had a tackle for loss and another quarterback hit. You had Donald with a pass breakup. David Long. Darius Williams had 3 pass breakups in this game. Leonard Floyd had 2. Ernest Jones had 1. The interceptions, as you do know, Ernest Jones, Leonard Floyd there. You had 8 tackles from Floyd, 7 from Ernest Jones. Williams, Fuller, Long had 6. Donald Gaines, Scott, or Donald Gaines, and Donald and Gaines had 5. Oh no, they took away a tackle for Raps, so I guess I didn't win the $320. Oh, that's a pain. Yeah, I think they did. Yeah, they did. That sucks. Oh, man, that's awful. Oh, well. 164, but didn't win 320. That's brutal. Yeah, I guess they gave Rapp a tackle that he didn't get on the stat. I don't know. Either way, the Rams, they played a complete game. They got, 3 made field goals, including, by the way, Matt Gay hit a 55-yard field goal, okay? He deserves credit for that. He went 3 of 3, coming away with scoring 12 out of the Rams' 30 points on the day. By the way, he's first in field goal percentage. He's 10th in extra point percentage. He's tied for 15th with longest of a 54-yarder, which he actually hit a 55-yard today. And he's 6th in points coming into this game. He adds 12 to that category there. So he's having himself a hell of a season. Should be the Pro Bowl kicker in the NFC, in my opinion. But you look at it, man, this is just a great win for the Rams, who are now 5-2 on the road. Arizona has an issue winning at home. They are now 500 at home. They're 3-3 at home. The Rams are 9-4, 5-2 at home. They have the Seahawks this upcoming weekend, 4:25 on Fox Eastern time, of course. I got to get used to, most of my viewers are probably in LA, but Seattle, they have at SoFi. Then the Rams pack up. They have a 2-game road skid here. They have one against the Vikings, a 1 o'clock game, and then a Ravens 4:25 game. And then they have the Niners to end the season, 4:25 on Fox, which I think has a chance to be flexed to the Sunday Night Football area. We'll see. But the Rams can win the rest of the games. I mean, they could easily win out, and that's what I was saying. I think they can take this momentum and really build off it. I see somebody asking about the third down stats here. Let's see. Third down. I'm trying to find that for you. Okay. Third down efficiency, the Rams were 6 of 12. Arizona was 8 of 15. Arizona did a nice job on third down. Rams defense has to get better in that regard. Arizona had 2 more drives than the Rams, but the Rams averaged 6.6 yards per play, which was really important. Again, the Rams sacked Kyler Murray. It's weird. It says 4 times. There we go. 4 times for 39 yards, forced 2 interceptions. The Cardinals ran for 4.7 yards per carry if you factor in Kyler Murray, but if you don't factor in Kyler Murray, they really didn't run the ball all that well. The Rams had 5 penalties for 40 yards called on them. The Arizona Cardinals had 7 for 54. And again, the time of possession was pretty identical. I mean, the Cardinals obviously had a minute or so, but that tells you a lot. So the Cardinals had more time of possession, but they also had 2 more drives than the Rams. So the Rams were efficient in those drives. They averaged more yards per play. They don't have as many yards because they didn't have as many drives, but more yards per play. And then, they had 18 first downs to 22. So only 4 less first downs with 2 less possessions. So this is how the Rams are going to do it, man. This is how they're going to do it. Good game from Sony. Good game from the rest of the squad. And now the Rams have to take care of business against the 5-8 Seattle Seahawks, who are 3-4 on the road. And going into this game, they have some injuries. The Rams, they'll have some guys back, I would imagine. So that game projection right now, according to Pick Center, has the Rams winning 27-20. So the spread right now, Rams are 6.5-point favorites. And, the over-under is 47. So that is that. Vikings game, that could be a little tough, obviously, going on the road, playing against Kirk Cousins and company. The Rams and with Sean McVay have lost to the Vikings before, but I do like them in that game. The Vikings are 6-7 right now. That'll be after the Seahawks game. Rams are the matchup predictor favorite, 57.6% to 42.1%. Against the Ravens, that could be interesting. I would imagine Lamar Jackson is healthier at that point. The Rams are projected favorites on the road, 51.7% to 47.9%. And lastly, here on the matchup predictor, we have the 49ers, who the Rams are 61.8% favorites against the 49ers. That will be January 9th. So some January football there. We got 2 games in January, a little bit later than normal because of the 18-week schedule and the 17-game schedule. But Rams have an opportunity to run the table, and I won't be surprised if they do, because you look at this game, and I mean, let's call it like it is. The Rams, they took care of business, and they really showed that they can beat anybody. I think winning this game, and they already beat the Bucs. So this idea that they haven't beaten anybody, well. But, I mean, we could also go into the playoff machine as well if you guys are interested in going through that. I'll bring that up, and we can go through that a little bit. Go through some options. Nathan, thank you so much for donating. First YouTuber I've ever donated to. I'm honored. Thank you so much. This is the best channel for Rams fans. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate those kind words, Nathan. Now, with the playoff projector right now, or playoff machine, with the Rams winning, of course, they're still the 5th seed. Things have to go down. They don't have the tiebreaker over Arizona because wins in common games, Arizona will have, barring a complete fallout. But let's look. So if the Rams do win next week, they go 10-4. Arizona loses to the Lions. Arizona is still in first place, right? But all of a sudden, Arizona drops to the 3rd seed, and things become, a little bit more possible. Say they lose to the Cardinals at home. They're now a 3-3 home team. Now the Rams, say they beat Minnesota, and now the Rams have now moved into the 3rd seed with the and taken over the division lead at 11-4. The Cardinals would be 10-5, and we'll say the Cardinals. We'll say they win against Dallas, or we'll say they win against the Lions. I have kind of a weird feeling the Lions are going to upset them, but let's just say they, win against the Lions, they lose against Dallas. Now the Rams are the 3rd seed. Not sure the Rams want to be the 3rd seed. They'd be hosting a playoff game against the Niners at that point, in that moment. Not really changing anything on the other teams. So say the Rams run the table the rest of the way. And the Cardinals, they went out after losing. They would lose 2 of the next 3 games, or 2 in the next 4. So if that's the case, the Rams would be 13-4. So then week 15, because the Rams have the tiebreaker against the Bucs would have to drop 1 game the rest of the year for the Rams to move into that 2nd seed. So With that said, against the Saints, you'd be wanting to root for the Saints in that game. Okay? You'd be wanting to root in Week 16. You'd want to root for Carolina. But in all likelihood, Tampa's winning those two games. So you go to Week 17. Tampa against the Jets. Tampa's probably winning that game. Week 18. Tampa against the Panthers. So really the Bills game, they really needed to win that game because the Bucs have a pretty easy road. And they have a pretty easy road to the first seed if the Packers drop one game there. So you look at, say, Tampa. Let's say they lose to, who would they lose to? The Saints? We'll say they drop to the Saints. They have a hard time against them. They already lost earlier in the year. Okay. So the Rams would move into the second seed, them both being at 13-4. And then week 15, we're going to look at Green Bay. Let's say Green Bay loses to Baltimore. And then let's say they win. They'll beat the Browns. And then they beat the Vikings. And then, let's see here. Let's say they beat the Lions. They beat the Lions and they lose to the Vikings. So they lose to the Vikings and they lose to... Or no, they beat the Vikings. We'll say they lose to the Browns, okay? Because that's somewhat more realistic than the Vikings. So they lose to the Browns. Rams would get the number 1 seed. Green Bay drops 2. They only have to drop 2 games. They have to have, one more loss than the Rams because the Rams lost the head-to-head tiebreaker. Tampa has to lose 1 more game. The Rams have to win out. And the Cardinals have to lose 2 of the next 4 games. If that happens, the Rams will take over first place. Well, actually, hold on a second. Let me check Dallas because I haven't done that yet. So let's just assume Dallas wins out. How would that work? So Dallas... Okay, so Dallas would actually have the tiebreaker. That is interesting. Huh. I try to go over all these to make sure because, this is fun, right? We'd like to know. Okay, so this is how. Dallas would have... Oh, wait, never mind. They're not going to explain it. Yeah, I have legitimately no idea why... Okay, no. Dallas would win the tiebreaker over Los Angeles and Tampa Bay based on best win percentage in conference games. That is crazy. So, the Rams have beaten the Bucs, and the Bucs have beaten the Cowboys. But because of a 3-way tie, Dallas would win it because of conference record. Man, that would be brutal. I also don't think Dallas is that great. Call me crazy, but I could see them dropping one of those games. The Giants, Washington almost beat them. Arizona. So they have to beat, it's weird. So they have to beat Arizona. Well, Arizona has to lose too. So you want Dallas to beat Arizona. The Eagles Week 18 game, I think, is very realistic for the Eagles to steal that game. If the Eagles stole that game, it would knock Dallas to the 3rd seed because then you would have 2 teams at 13-4, Rams and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Rams have the tiebreaker over Tampa Bay. So if they tie, does not matter. Rams would get the nod. Rams would have the number 1 seed. They'd have a bye. They wouldn't have any chance of playing in that super stupid. And let me just emphasize how stupid it is to have wild card on a Monday night. Dumb. Don't do it. Wild card should be on a weekend, not Monday. Don't ruin something that is already fine. But yeah, the Rams wouldn't have to play wild card weekend or wild card Monday if they take care of business the rest of the way. The Cardinals lose 2, the Cowboys lose at least 1, and Tampa loses at least 1. So, also the Packers would have to lose at least 2. And there you go. That is the path. It's not easy. I understand it's like all this crazy scientific crap. But if the Rams take care of business, there you go. That's what happens. King Ben, thank you so much for donating. I saw it earlier, but I was on a rampage, kind of trying to make all this stuff work. So I kept doing that. But I do appreciate you donating. What a day, Daddy Jake. It was definitely a day. Let me tell you that. Fun stream, man. We went over 300 on this. We're almost over 200 likes. Be sure to hit the thumbs up if you like me. Even if you don't like me, hit the thumbs up because the Rams won. That's the right thing to do. Am I right? Also, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Looks like we hit over 8,500 subscribers, so really do appreciate you guys helping me get to that. We got 1,500 more before we are at 10,000. And at 10,000, I don't know. It looks better, so I'm hoping for 10K subscribers by the end of the year. If I could literally jump into 2022 with 10,000 subscribers, that would be awesome. And I think we can get there. I definitely think we can get there. I think we're going to be pretty close. It's going to be a close shave. I think we can get there. We're on a good pace. So, definitely trying that. But how's everyone doing? How's the energy? It feels like we're all good. With that, everything's good, right? Yeah, the Ravens could have lost to the Lions. You're right about that. Yeah, the 49ers need to be beaten. You're right. That was a big win, though, because the Rams, they were treading on some hot water. If they lost this game, the Niners would have been a game behind. And if the Niners win and the Rams lose another, then the Niners would have the tiebreaker, and then you get into all that crap. But now the Rams have clinched Sean McVay's fifth straight in 5 years, his fifth straight 500 season, plus 500 season, and they can move forward. They can beat Seattle, they can beat Minnesota, they can beat the Ravens, and they can beat the Niners. Man, that game was fun, though, was it not? Come on now. Man, the channel's popping, right? Had over 300 people in here. Have an engaged audience. We had Tutu Atwell on the show, Rams wide receiver. Yesterday, I thought that went very well. It was a lot of fun having Tutu Atwell on. Be sure to check that out after this. We had over 1,000 viewers on a pregame, which is the most viewers we've had on a pregame stream. I know it sounds crazy, but it says we're over 1,600 views that YouTube will count. I mean, we're over 2,000, but YouTube only counts 80% of them. It's kind of weird. So, yeah, we're over 1,600 views on this in total. We'll see. DXNES. I'm not really sure. Really not sure about the collabs. I'm not sure. I kind of just go through the motions. I'm not gonna lie. The Tutu Atwell video came together in less than 12 hours. Actually, no. The Tutu Atwell video came together in 20 minutes. But, getting him on the show, I mean, he was on the show 12 hours later, basically. Or a little bit over that, whatever. I'd recommend you at work, but everyone's a Bengals fan. Gross. Oh, you're in Cincinnati? Later, Luke. Also, guys, for you Rams fans out there, since most of you are, because, well, this is a Rams stream, and I can't imagine that you're torturing yourself if you're a Cardinals fan, but if you are, you're more than welcome to. We have a Discord channel. You can actually join. The link is now in the comments section. Or it's not, actually. It's trying to paste. I don't know what it's doing. Oh, no, I hope it didn't just destroy everything. I don't know why it's taking so long. All right, let's stop that. All right, cool. There we go. Nope, that's not the link. Awesome. Love when it doesn't listen to me. I think that's the link to this YouTube. All right. There is the link. It is a Discord chat, 24/7 Rams talk, essentially. So be sure to join that. We're over 360 members in there. Yeah, what a game. What a night. And just think, if you guys follow everything I do on here, if you're a Marvel fan, big week for us. Rams fan, you got a Victory Tuesday, and then Wednesday we have Hawkeye, episode 5, and then we have Spider-Man, depending on when you got your tickets. I mean, I have tickets for, looks like I have it for Thursday and Friday, so, I'll be seeing it twice. Jake, your content is excellent. If you ever make it to Ireland, there's a Guinness and some in-depth Rams chat waiting here. Robert, oh man, that would be awesome. I would love to. I actually have family in Ireland. I am Irish, so it would be very cool to go to Ireland. Some point I want to, and Guinness is a great beer, so that sounds like a plan. If I'm ever out there, I will let you know. Jordan, thank you so much for donating. Rams Nation, awesome to see the other starters step up in the absence of others. Watching Donald have a monster game was beautiful to watch. Yeah, it's almost as if Donald deserves to be in the Defensive Player of the Year discussion that everyone likes to keep him out of because he only had 7 sacks. Well, he's got 10 now, baby, and it's only going to go up. I think this game kickstarts him. There's 4 games, okay? Must-win games. They're trying to get that number 1 seed. They're trying to win the division. Yes, he very much, I think, is about to light up a little bit. So, I'm out, Jake. Got work in the AM. Huge win tonight. Go Rams. Thank you so much for stopping in, Ray. Appreciate you. Cup has a very good chance to break the record. Yeah, I'm avoiding the YouTube spoilers. I follow guys on YouTube, and I haven't seen anything. I'm hoping they don't spoil it in the Johnny. I'm hoping they don't spoil it in the thumbnail, but I'm sure that'll happen. Fun fact: I had Avengers: Infinity War spoiled. I had Avengers: Endgame spoiled, and I had the Harry Potter movie where Dumbledore gets killed spoiled. And I mean, those were spoiled on Twitter, but the Harry Potter one pissed me off because that was spoiled on Call of Duty, and just some random dude just said Snape kills Dumbledore in his mic, and I was like, oh, God, I hate that. Don't spoil. All right, I love all of you equally as Rams fans, but if I catch you spoiling any of these new movies and shows coming out, it's just, you gotta be nice to people, Yeah, everything. Yeah, I just OBJ did ball out today. Jake, we lose at home against the Cards last year. At home, we won at their house. It's the same this year. They won in LA, we won in Arizona. I think it's interesting. Or did we both games? Paul, we won both games last year. So remember John Wolford? He won at SoFi against the Cardinals. The Dragon Reborn. Exactly, Dr. Dingus. You get a Rams win on Monday, you get Hawkeye on Wednesday, and you get Spider-Man on Thursday. What didn't go right? I can't even think. Yeah, but you know what? Part of me kind of feels like the Lions have a chance in that game. I don't know why. All right, the spoiler for movies, let's be honest here. The statute of whatever limitations, whatever it is, there's no way I can be considered somebody that spoiled the Harry Potter ending when that movie's been out for years. I'm gonna do a Spider-Man show after, so we'll probably do it on Saturday or something. I don't want to spoil it for people, but I do want to do a spoiler show after the fact, at some point. A non-spoiler review, probably before that. I agree, Red State Rams. I agree. Agree with that, Baseball David. Terrence, if you remember, I said it was going to be a shootout type of game, so I had 37-33. I changed my 31-24 stupidly prediction to 37-33, but I did have the Rams winning, and I felt like, there was going to be I felt like there was going to be a big play at the end of the game that kind of sealed it by the defense. So I thought the defense would step up. The defense played way better than I expected. I think most people expected. I don't care about the yards they gave up. Most of those yards were just them playing some soft coverage to make sure that they kept everything in front of them when Arizona was trying to come back. But I know. I would say, people. It depends who you talk to. I think a lot of people would put Brady ahead of Stafford in the MVP race. I'd say Stafford. I think Stafford is the MVP. And I said that coming to the league. Look at what this team has had to overcome. I just think there's a reason why he was added. He's that extra piece that they've been missing. And yeah, he had a bad stretch, but so did Tom Brady. Remember when Tom Brady lost to Taylor Heineke and Tom Brady lost to the Saints and Tom Brady lost head-to-head to Matthew Stafford? Yeah, I do too. So I'll take Stafford over Brady. Who's better? Brady. All time, yes. But I don't think Murray's overrated. I think the Rams just had a great game plan to stop him. Well, to be fair, on special teams, they have their top guys that are all out. But I will say I want to see better out of Hecker for sure. No, I get it. Man, I feel like everybody who got the onside kick lost. It was like the Ravens, they got an onside kick. The Bears got an onside kick. Who else got an onside kick? There was another team. The Bills? Was it the Bills? I think the Bills got an onside kick, if I'm not mistaken, and they lost. So every team that recovered an onside kick lost, I believe. I think they're gonna just keep that level of intensity when the starters come back for sure. Well, yeah, I agree. I like Hecker. I'm not trying to badmouth him, but I will say that I think Bajorquez was the better option. But Hecker's leadership, I think, is a real reason why he stuck around. It's good to have guys like that in the locker room. You can't overstate it. And I think with him, when you look at, for instance, losing a guy like Michael Brockers coming in the year, he wasn't going to take a pay cut, so they traded him away. Not having Michael Brockers in the locker room, you didn't really have a ability to go out and be like, you know what, we don't need Johnny Hecker anymore. Like, you need some locker room guys that are going to be, some focal points for you, and I think that was a big thing there. What's up, Trevor? Kyler doesn't look 100% either this week or last. Wonder if he'll get back to full this year and if he'll be a bit hampered until the offseason. Yeah, the problem is Kyler's running around with the same weight and the same size like I am. So imagine, obviously he's got more muscle than I do, but imagine just running around at 5'8", whatever, and just getting hit after hit after hit and, I think it takes a toll on you, to be honest with you. And I think he can make it in this league. And, he's one of the most accurate throwers of the football I've seen this year. But, the question's going to be his long-term durability. And it's not because he's just a running quarterback. I mean, it's a tough position to play. Exactly. Stafford got banged up. You're getting hit a lot as a quarterback. And that offensive line, man, I felt like I was watching with that offensive line. It looked like the Seattle Seahawks with Russell Wilson all over again. I mean, they're just not very good. Sean Harlow needs to learn how to hold. He made it way too obvious. The Rams don't get holding calls because normally offensive linemen are able to hold without making it obvious. He was not, and that was pretty evident there. Odell is getting better. I saw Ram Nation. You said that Hawkeye Season 2 is coming. They announced it. That's pretty awesome. I didn't know that. I'm not really concerned about size durability with him. His ankle injury wasn't a result of a hit. He does a really good job protecting himself. He does, but these type of games, especially going against Donald twice a year, going against, guys like that, Bosa, in San Fran. I mean, they're, now Von Miller and Floyd. He did take some hits today. He definitely did. Yeah, the face mask no call was awful. Very bad. Yeah. Sean McVay is 9-1 against Arizona. So that's worth mentioning. I mean, I think the weird thing is before the season, I said Rams Chargers. And I feel really confident that the Rams get it together. They've already gotten it together, and they go to the Super Bowl. But the Chargers, I kind of go back and forth on. I could see New England. The Chiefs are playing very well. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even know who's playing on Thursday. Who's playing on Thursday? Let's look. Oh, Chiefs Chargers. Okay. If the Chargers win that game, I'm going to feel more confident in my preseason prediction for them to go to the Super Bowl against the Rams. But they got to win that game. They got to beat the Chiefs. They've got to beat the Chiefs because right now the Chiefs are ascending. They're playing very well. They're dangerous. And that's a team they got to take care of business against. So we'll see. But it's hard to say exactly who I would go for. Oh, man. It's tough. I mean, Bryson was asked to do a lot. As far as a blocker, I still don't think they're using him to his strength. I think he's a pass catching guy. He was in college. But yeah, I mean, it was tough tonight. Blanton stepped up with those 2 receptions, but we'll see how things go the rest of the way. I mean, obviously, the expectation is that the expectation is that Higbee will be back for Seattle, but Ernest Jones looked really good. Coleman Shelton stepped up too. Oh yeah, that was a laser on a dime. Daniel, thank you so much for checking in. Love you too, bro. It was a great win. I mean, the Rams, of course, have a shot at winning the NFC West, but they need help, you know? And it's like, I guess it's your definition. I mean, do you feel like needing help gives you a shot? That's the question. Oh, Fantastic Beasts 3, The Secrets of Dumbledore is in theaters April 15th, 2022. Interesting. Rams, yeah, the Rams won. It's a great win. I don't think that's a crazy statement. I think Ernest Jones is the best linebacker the Rams have had since Littleton. I mean, it's not that crazy, you know. Yeah, I wouldn't touch Dabo Sweeney at coach because, to be honest with you, I don't think Dabo Sweeney's that great of a coach. I don't think he develops quarterbacks well. I think he gets a lot of credit for Trevor Lawrence. I think he gets a lot of credit for what's his face, Deshaun Watson. But what has he done with DJ Ugalele? You know, that team does not impress me at all. He does not impress me. I've never been a Dabo Sweeney fan. Plus, I don't like some of the stuff he says. So doesn't feel like the player should be paid, but is totally fine getting paid millions of dollars. Whatever, Dabo. Yeah, I mean, I would say Kingsbury's working out in the NFL, you know, but I wouldn't feel confident in Dabo Sweeney, no. Paul, crazy enough, I have not been to SoFi Stadium yet. I have not been there yet. No, I don't think that's possible, Nick. I think the Rams are definitely going to get Lamar Jackson. It's not even a high ankle sprain, so the Rams are going to have to play against Lamar Jackson. But the thing is, their offense just hasn't looked that great, so they're going to need to figure it out this late in the season. As an 8-5 squad, they're definitely going to have to figure that out. AFC is crazy right now. When you look at it, I mean, right now the AFC, I mean, Patriots are 9-4. You have the 9-4 Titans, the 9-4 Chiefs, the 8-5 Ravens, 8-5 Chargers, 7-6 Colts, 7-6 Bills. I'm not sure if the Colts want to play the Chiefs in the first round. I feel like they would rather play Tennessee, but they do have the tiebreaker over Buffalo. In the mix, Miami is 6-7, folks. They still have a shot. They play the Jets next week to move to 7-7 potentially. Buffalo, they're gonna. Who are they playing? Buffalo plays the Panthers. I mean, Sean McDermott reunion going back to. Oh no, I think it's in Buffalo. So Sean McDermott playing his old team. We'll see. Cincinnati 7-6 outside of the playoffs, as well as Cleveland, and then you have Denver at 7-6. Vegas is 6-7, as well as Miami. I'm kind of feeling Miami right now. I feel like, if Miami, they can take care of the Jets, they beat the Saints, they're looking at 8-7, and they have games against the Titans and the Patriots. If the Patriots clinch the first seed by week 18, then the Patriots probably sit their starters, and Miami has a chance in that game. Miami always plays the Patriots tough. I'm not ruling Miami out to make the playoffs. I'm really not. And I like the way Tua Tagovailoa has been playing, so I'll give them a shot. In the NFC right now, as far as the seeding, you have the 10-3 Packers, the 10-3 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, the 10-3 Cardinals are the 3rd seed. Take it easy, CT Rams fan. Thanks for stopping by. So the Cardinals are 10-3. They're the 3rd seed now after losing that game. The Dallas Cowboys are 9-4 at 4th seed. The Rams are 9-4 at the 5th seed. Then you have the San Francisco Niners at 7-6. That's the 6th seed. And the 6-7 Washington football team at the 7th seed. In the mix, the Minnesota Vikings at 6-7. The Philadelphia Eagles at 6-7. You have the 5-8, all of a sudden still somewhat alive, Seattle Seahawks at 5-8. Atlanta at 6-7, New Orleans at 6-7, Carolina's still in it at 5-8, and a little bit kind of far out of the playoff picture, but still in the mix. Chicago at 4-9, and the Giants at 4-9, who need help and need to win out and get in the playoffs with a losing record. Don't see that happening. I'm feeling like right now, if we're gonna lock in the playoffs, I have the Packers making it, the Bucs making it, Cardinals making it, Dallas making it, the Rams making it. San Fran at 7-6, I think that they kind of proved it. If they lost to the Bengals, they might have missed the playoffs. There was a chance. They're playing good football right now. I'll take the Niners as the 6th seed. And at the 7th seed, it's really tough because, look, first off, and I see what you're saying, Trevor, Atlanta to me is not a playoff team. That team has, been, coached up, in my opinion, by Arthur Smith. That team has no business having 6 wins. Not a fan of them. New Orleans now with Taysom Hill, I think gives them an opportunity because of his legs. But they're pretty predictable, and they did just beat the Jets. So I'm not super high on the Saints, although if they do steal one against the Bucs, they'll be on my nice list, I guess. Carolina, I don't know what's happening with them. Cam Newton is having a hard time winning football games. PJ Walker is also playing there, and he's not able to get anything going. Then you have Seattle at 5-8. If they lose to the Rams, I pretty much take him out. The Giants at 4-9. I don't see a team making the playoffs with a losing record, so I'm taking them out. I'm taking Chicago out, even though they had a valiant effort against Green Bay. So really, in my opinion, I don't think the Saints and Falcons are in it. I think it's a battle between, and I know they're 6-7, but if it comes down to the wire, I expect it to be between Washington, Philadelphia, and Minnesota. And I would lean Minnesota because I think Minnesota is going to be healthier down the stretch. I like Adam Thielen and Jefferson and Cook and the way Kirk Cousins plays. When Kirk Cousins plays really well, they have a chance to win games. Their defense could be better, but I don't feel like the Vikings should be 6-7. I feel like they're a better team than that. I'm going to go with the Vikings to get the 7th seed, albeit I don't think Mike Zimmer should be back. But, they should have beat the Lions 29-27. They probably could have beaten the 49ers 34-26. They should have beat the Ravens 34-31. They should have beat the Cowboys 20-16. They should have beat the Browns 14-7. They should have beat Arizona 34-33, and they should have beaten the Bengals to start the season 27-24. They've been in every single game that they've lost. It has come down to one possession game. So to me, I think Minnesota is the 7th seed when it's all said and done. I would even say the 6th seed is potential, but the 49ers need to lose to help them out because Minnesota does not have the tiebreaker since they lost head-to-head to San Fran. So if San Francisco drops 2 more games and Minnesota wins out, then yes, I think Minnesota gets that 6th seed. I don't think anybody has a chance to catch the Rams after winning tonight. The Rams are they have locked in a top 5 seed with the potential to go up as far as the number 1 seed. And as far as the 6th seed goes, I think San Francisco's locked themselves in the playoffs with that win over the Bengals. I don't see them blowing this, although you look at who they're playing against. I mean, I did have them potentially losing that Bengals game. The rest of the way, though, the Falcons, who find ways to win games that they don't deserve to win, they play them. That could be a weird game. The Titans in Tennessee, but then you have the Texans and then you have the Rams. So, I mean, at worst, we're kind of looking at, if we're being honest here, if San Francisco loses to the Titans and the Rams, both road games here, then that, is 9-8 at worst. If they win 3 of their next 4, then you're looking at 10-7. And if they win out, you're looking at 11-6. So in my estimation here, my prediction, I'm going to go with the 49ers taking the 6th seed, and the Vikings, I think they're going to drop against the Rams. I think they go, 7-8 in the upcoming 2 weeks. I think they beat the Bears on Monday Night Football, 7-7, lose to the Rams, 7-8. I think they might steal that game on Sunday Night Football against the Packers. And then that would put them at 8-8, and then I think they beat the Bears again to go 9-8 and make the playoffs, while the Niners go 10-7 the rest of the way. But that's how I see the playoffs going. So if that is what happens, then I would imagine I'm going to say right now, I don't think the Rams get the 1 seed. I think it's too much wishful thinking. I think the Rams have a chance to win the division, but I don't see them getting the 1 seed. So as of right now, I'm going to say the Rams stick with the 5th seed here. I think the Cardinals, they have a chance to blow it, but I don't think they'll necessarily blow it. They have to lose 2 more games. Rams have to win out. I just don't think that losing 2 more games, while possible, I don't think it's likely for them. They have some easy wins on the schedule. They do have to play against the Colts, yes. They do have, obviously a matchup where they could lose, but I'm going to say that Arizona probably ends this season, we'll say 13-4. I'm going to say the Rams end this season 12-5. So the Rams go to the 5th seed, Arizona, and they definitely could lose to the Colts and Cowboys. I'm going to say Arizona gets the 3 seed. I'm going to say Dallas gets the 4 seed. Tampa gets the 2nd seed. I think Green Bay gets the 1 seed. And then, the 6th seed for San Fran. Minnesota gets the 7th. So I think in the NFC, you are looking at the way it stands right now, but add Minnesota over Washington. You have Green Bay getting the bye. Tampa Bay hosts Minnesota in Tampa. I don't believe they played this year. I'm going to check real quick, but I'm almost positive they have not. No, they have not played. I'm going to check if they played last year. Kind of similar teams, so we'll see if they played last year. And they did. Tampa won down the stretch against Minnesota, 26-14 in that game. Minnesota held Brady to 196 yards in that one. So I would see Tampa playing Minnesota in the first round, Arizona playing San Francisco, and the Rams heading to Jerry World to play the Dallas Cowboys on the road. And then in the AFC, I think New England takes it as far as the first round bye. Then it gets kind of tricky, right? Because we don't really know how this will go. I'm going to say Kansas City steals the 2 seed. So Kansas City gets the 2 seed. I think they play, it looks like they could play Cleveland. I think Cincinnati might just run out of steam here. So I'm going to say that they play Cleveland. So Kansas City versus Cleveland. And then the 3rd seed is Tennessee. And I think that they play the Colts. Tennessee versus the Colts. And then the 4th seed, the Ravens. I think they play the Chargers as it stands. That's right. I do have the Steelers, the Dolphins, the Bengals, and Denver missing the playoffs. And so then I have Kansas City beating Cleveland. And I think that in the 3 seed, the Colts would beat Tennessee. And I think the Chargers would take down Baltimore. So then you would probably be looking at, Chargers, Kansas City, or Chargers, New England, or Kansas City, New England, something like that. And then the Rams, I think, would go to the championship game against the Packers or Bucks, whichever there. But I do think that they would beat Dallas. I think it's a good matchup for the Rams. So that, I could see that. You think Baltimore missing? I don't know if I would say they miss it, but thanks, Adam. I definitely will. Yeah, I think Tampa's going to drop one, which won't matter for the Cardinals and it won't matter for the Rams. So, Trevor, I would have the Vikings taking on Tampa in the first round, which, by the way, I think the Vikings could low-key win that game, but I would take Tampa. I don't know. I think the Vikings have as much talent as anybody. Maybe not as much as the Rams, Packers, Bucks, but I think they can compete with anybody, and they just got to finish games. I think the Rams would go to Jerry World and beat the Cowboys, though. I do think that the Rams legitimately have the best matchup against the Cowboys, and I think that they would win that game. Yeah, I do. And I think San Francisco would, potentially lose to Arizona, but that game would be tough. And I think Tampa would get a run for their money against the Vikings. So, then right then and there, Green Bay is going to end up playing the Rams. If that works out the way it is, then Green Bay would play the Rams actually in the divisional round again. So it couldn't be Green Bay. So, okay, so then I think the Rams would beat Green Bay the third time facing them the last 2 years. I think the Rams would beat Green Bay. And then I think Arizona and Tampa. I think Tampa beats Arizona, and then the Rams play Tampa in the championship game, which I think the Rams match up super well against Tampa, and I think that they would win. But we'll see. I mean, like Trevor's saying, Minnesota could beat anyone, lose to anyone. If Minnesota wanted to just play spoiler, they could come in here, they could knock Tampa off, and it would just create a whole mess. I mean, if you think about, if you think about it, Minnesota beats Tampa, then they play Green Bay in the divisional round. The Rams would have Arizona or San Francisco in the divisional round, so would definitely change the game there, depending. But hey, last NFC team that was a 5 seed was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they won the Super Bowl, so at their home stadium. It's kind of where I have the Rams going. I think the Rams are going to get the 5th seed. I think they're the kind of, pretty similar to how the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were last year. They really came on strong. A little different because Tampa by this point had their guys back. They were back from injury, but I think the Rams are about to go on a run. And if they go on a run as much as Tampa, then they won't get the 5th seed. To be honest with you, they'll probably end up getting the 4 or the 3 or 4. So we'll see. But man, it's been a fun stream. We've been live for over an hour and 20. We have over 200 people in here. Really do appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Appreciate your donations. Almost $140 in chat revenue tonight alone. Really do appreciate that. I just, again, can't stress it enough. Jordan, thank you so much for donating. If I didn't already tell you, I feel like this stream has been great, but, No, I agree with you, Trevor. They've been really impressive, and I just don't, call me crazy, I just don't buy into the Cowboys. I don't, and that could come back to haunt me, but I don't buy into them because I don't like the way Dak Prescott is playing right now. And, I think a big way of how to beat the Rams is do what Kyler did tonight. When there's nothing there, take off, run, get the yards. You watch Dak, man, he doesn't want to do that. He's got that in his head. He had the injury. I don't think he's fully recovered mentally, and I think that'll take a year or two. But, I mean, they need to take advantage of those plays, those type of running quarterbacks, mobile quarterbacks, and I just don't know if Dak can. Plus, just Dak hasn't been that great. So, Rams have played well against the Cowboys under McVay. Obviously the Cowboys would be dying for that revenge game, but, to knock the Rams out of the playoffs. But I could see, somebody like, say, Micah Parsons really changing the course of that game. I could see, a Trayvon Diggs pick, him just coming down with one, but I still think the Rams would end up winning that ball game. Paul, I agree with you. I mean, I think OBJ is a major key to this team going further. Major key. I mean, really what it comes down to is Cooper Kupp, but, it's also, like, is Akers going to have a significant role or not? We'll see. But yeah. Thank you, Terrence. I appreciate that. Same here. Hey, Benjamin, I agree with you. I definitely agree with you there. You know my thoughts, man. I went on your show and I told you. I said the Rams. I think they had a get right game, and I think they're gonna get things going, and they'll be fine moving forward. I think they're about to go on a run. Nolan, how we doing? We now have more likes than viewers currently. Love to see that. I agree with that, Cole. I mean, when you throw in a guy like Kareem Moore who hadn't played all year, been on the practice squad watching everyone else play, and then you throw him in the fire like that on the road, I mean, that's saying something. I love seeing OBJ play well, and I love making fun of people that said that he was a cancer, because it's like, well, what is a cancer at that point if you're calling him a cancer, I'm just saying. I don't know if you guys play FanDuel, but Nikola Jokic went for 72 tonight. 72 fantasy points. Didn't score 72 points, but 72 fantasy points. Definitely some impressive stuff there from him. He led the whole slate. 72. He was on my team, but I still didn't cash. I love it, Darth Karth. I love Charlie Cox. Guys, in case, for those of you who are in here, the people that have been, watching me know that I'm into more than just football and I cover other things on this channel. You guys know I finally watched all of the Netflix Marvel shows, in case you don't follow me on Twitter and you didn't know that. And I just was blown away. I mean, Daredevil was awesome. Jessica Jones was awesome. I loved Iron Fist. I know. I understand. People are like, how the hell do you like Iron Fist? Look, Iron Fist was incredibly fun to watch. I love the Punisher, and I love Luke Cage. I think Iron Fist is low-key so underrated, and I'm pissed that they're not going to bring back Finn Jones. They're likely going to bring back Iron Fist, but I don't think they'll bring back Finn Jones. So, the OBJ narrative is so effing old. I'm just sick of having to hear about him from either side. It's just one of those stupid recycled stories that wastes everyone's time. It's normally how it is, though, The narrative starts, and then they have something to talk about on slow days. Loki was amazing. I loved Loki. I'm actually watching, and I'm curious for my Marvel fans out there. I don't know why I just did the devil horns. That's kind of funny. Curious for my Marvel fans out there, if you guys have checked out Cloak and Dagger. I'm on season 2, and I'm really enjoying it. And Kevin Feige kind of alluded to the fact that there was a chance that Cloak and Dagger, they won't get a show on Disney Plus, but there's a chance that Cloak and Dagger will appear in Marvel projects moving forward, and be the roles will be reprised by the original actors. Aubrey, forget his name, and then what was her name? Holt something. But I'm really enjoying that show, and I like the connections to Stark. I like the connections to Rand. I like the connection to Luke Cage. So if you guys haven't checked that out before, it's called Cloak and Dagger. It's on Hulu. Yeah, Nolan, I gotta disagree. I don't, well, not disagree. I mean, that's your opinion. Um, I don't, I don't like Cloak and Dagger more than Iron Fist because I was obsessed with Iron Fist. I love the character so much. The character development to me was just unbelievable. From the Meachums to, you know, Colleen Wing and Danny Rand and the Hand. But at the same time, you know, Cloak and Dagger is really killing it. I'm not going to spoil it if you guys haven't seen it, but season 2 is really just started off with a bang, so I'm really enjoying it. I'll be watching that when I get off this stream. Do you have a take on the Tampa wide receiver core, as in the ranking of 3 guys? The differing opinions on it are always intriguing. I mean, I think the Tampa wide receiver core is really good. I think the problem is it's hard to put them number 1, number 2, number 3, whatever, because I just don't think we know how good that they can be, because the fact is, you know, you're splitting that time. I mean, essentially watching Tampa's receiver core when AB is healthy is like watching the Lakers with Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis and LeBron James. You don't know who's going to have the biggest game of the 3, but you do know that there's 3 stars there. There's 3 guys that can explode at any given moment. And I'd argue that AB is still the most explosive receiver of the 3. I think Mike Evans is the most physically imposing, and I think the best all-around receiver on that roster is Chris Godwin, because Godwin does everything from blocking to being able to run the ball as a running back, to being able to high point the football, his route running ability, his possession ability over the middle. So that's how I look at it. I just don't think there's a way to say that, you know, I just think they do so many different things and they're so complementary of each other. It's how you build a receiver group. And honestly, that's why I love the Rams receiver group so much. When, you know, Robert Woods comes back, if they bring back OBJ, because there's so much variation. You know, you look at, you know, Cooper Kupp, who can do it all. You know, he's the best route runner on the team. He's got great hands. He's unbelievable yards after the catch guy. Incredibly efficient, and not only that, but incredibly intelligent. You look at Robert Woods, who's probably the better blocker of anybody on the roster, can help in the run game. He had 28 carries last year. You know, they use him a lot in the run game. You know, you have a guy that has great possession ability, great route runner. Then you have Van Jefferson, who is an unbelievable route runner. His footwork is incredible. He's got good hands, although he struggled at times this season. I think that'll get better as time goes on. A fantastic deep threat. Yes, fantastic deep threat for people that didn't believe me when I said he was a deep threat. And that speed to go from 0 to 60 like that. And then you have OBJ, who, you know, is a solid blocker. He doesn't get enough credit as a blocker. He's incredibly intelligent, has unbelievable hands, great route runner, and he might, you know, while Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods are better yards after the catch as far as generating missed tackles and things like that, I think OBJ has running back, like elite level running back vision when he's in space, when he's in the open field. He just looks like the most explosive player on the field. So, you know, I think they complement each other well. I think that, you know, the Bucs complement each other well. I like when teams take receiver rooms and they make them like variations. So they have different guys that can do different things. When you differentiate or diversify your receiver room, that is the first step to really taking the next step. And so, you know, you look at the Bucs, you look at the Rams. I think the Chiefs do it a little bit, you know, with Tyreek Hill. If we're calling, you know, Travis Kelce a receiver, you know, him, you know, Tyreek Hill, Demarcus Robinson, Josh Gordon, you know, like Byron Pringle, you know, they have some guys. I think that they differentiate it, but, you know, I don't think it's diversified as much as the Rams and Bucs. I like the way the Vikings have it. You know, I think Thielen is kind of, you know, he's your do-it-all type of guy, but Justin Jefferson is a little bit of a mix of him, and also he has the explosiveness of, you know, Stephon Diggs. They just need that third guy, and I think eventually Amir Smith-Marset will mold into that third guy. So, you know, we'll see what happens there. But that's how, you know, that's how I would say, you know, in regards to the receiver. I'm glad you brought that up, Trevor, and I'm glad you and I kind of agree on that. I wasn't a huge fan of Van's lack of usage last year. So I agree with that. And I'm excited, guys. I understand I just had him on, yesterday. I was definitely a little hard on him during the draft process, although him and I kind of laughed about it. But, man, I'm excited for Tutu Atwell to get an opportunity. This guy, as you guys heard yesterday that watched the interview, he's working his tail off. He's trying to get back from the shoulder surgery. He's in the weight room. He's trying to do his thing. He's trying to put on weight. If this guy puts on weight, he has that ability to play above the rim at 5'8", which is really impressive because, we saw that. We saw the highlights, during training camp and when they were doing the scrimmages at SoFi. You saw him going up and mossing people. This guy plays above the rim. He's not Tavon Austin. The comparison I said over and over again was ridiculous. I just think, to me, you have him, you have OBJ, you have Woods, you have Cup, you have Jacob Harris, you have Ben Skoranek. That's a pretty hardcore, top 3 receiver group. Van Jefferson, top 7 receiver group in the league. And at that point, who's going to stop that, really? Because that's really diversified and it starts to look like Arizona's. Arizona's is another wide receiver group we saw today. AJ Green has become really just a big-bodied receiver on the outside. He's not what he used to be, but can still help you. And as you saw, went over 100 yards in this game. Had another really good game against the Rams. You look at DeAndre Hopkins can do a little bit of everything. He moves extremely well at 6'4". You have then Rondale Moore, who is your gadget guy, but can honestly end up being the most productive receiver of anybody on this team when he fully develops. So I'm really excited for that. Christian Kirk has great vision, explosiveness, can help you in the return game. Did a lot of that at Texas A&M. You like to see the diversified receiver room as well as, look, Zach Ertz has been huge for them. He didn't do a ton tonight, but he has been huge for them as well. So I do like to see, receiver rooms that diversify things. Look at like Pittsburgh, for instance. When they're fully healthy, they have Juju Smith-Schuster, a do-it-all guy, a physical guy that plays smash-mouth style football, is not afraid to lay the wood, a big block, things like that. Then you have Deontay Johnson, who's turned into an absolute star receiver, one of the best route runners, a guy that struggled with drops last year, only dropped 2 passes this season. He has been a monster. Then you have Chase Claypool, who last year, when teams didn't know how to defend him, he was a dominant player on the outside, playing like a Megatron, can go up there at high point the football, box out defenders, things along that nature, but he's got to grow up. All that talk about him, the first down signal, taking way too much time, not allowing, the Steelers to end up winning that game on Thursday Night Football, or at least try to tie it up. That was a big thing for him. So he's got to grow up a little bit, but he's still a really, nice complimentary piece. And then you have James Washington, who, is a really good route runner. I saw his ability on display, at the Senior Bowl in person. So, I think he has talent as well. And they also have guys like Steve Sims, who has ability in the kick return game, and a guy that really kind of took on a bigger role, who they got from the Bills. And his name is now escaping me, from Clemson. So Ray McLeod. So, there are teams all over, in my opinion, there are teams all over the league that have diversified the receiver room. And I didn't mention Tampa, and I know now you mention it, Trevor. You have Brashad Perriman, who signed. You have Scotty Miller. You have Tyler Johnson. And, on top of that, you have a guy that I really liked coming out of North Texas, Jalen Darden. So, again, Tampa's kind of showing you that, with the receiver room, the Rams can still find a role for Tutu Atwell and Jacob Harris next year, regardless if OBJ is signed to the team and they keep Robert Woods or not. They can still find a role. It's not always going to be pretty, and I think a lot of people don't realize that. It's not always going to be like a Madden season where at the end of the year you look at the stats and you're like, oh, here's your 1,000-yard guy, 1,000-yard guy, 762-yard guy, 412, 220, whatever. It's not always like that. And so I think people get so focused on the stats that they don't realize when you develop a team that is so unselfish, like the way the Rams are run, like the way the Bucs are run, those guys are fine. And the guys that are selfish, then they're going to complain and they're going to bitch and moan about not getting targets and things along that nature, like a Deshaun Jackson, and they're going to be either traded or let go or demand a release, and that's fine. But, they get weeded out either way. And then you look at guys that are like Woods where, he's sitting there. It's not that he doesn't feel like he's not getting targets and like, he's mad about his stats or anything like that. Woods literally sat down with McVay, asked him, I'm not getting the targets. Is there any way, we can get this thing going and change our scheme and try to find different ways to not only get me involved, but try to help our team because, he kind of felt like him being involved more would help, open up opportunities for Van and Cup and things like that. So to me, when you look at it, that's how I do. I just see, when people are worried about Tutu Atwell getting involved next year and Jacob Harris and Ben Skoranek, I would just say, look, there's a lot of opportunity here. And if we haven't already seen it from Tampa, then I just don't think we're paying attention. Tampa still has Scotty Miller on the roster, Tyler Johnson, who is a late round pick. They drafted Jalen Darden, and nobody has left this roster. They brought Brashad Perriman in, okay? Injuries happen, sure, they give these guys opportunities, but, they had Jadon Mickens before, so they've had a lot of receivers, and I think they've shown that the best players deserve to make the 53. Don't focus too much on the position number, and what I will also say is moving forward, I believe next year, the NFL roster limit will go up to 55 on the active roster, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to look that up right now, but I'm pretty sure that's the case, unless someone wants to beat me to it. But I believe it is 2022 season, 55 active roster. Let's see. Because I definitely want to see it. Expanding. Okay, let's see here. It's going to happen at some point. I don't know when. I think it's 2022, but it could be 2023. Oh, you know what it might be? It might be the practice squad. I think that's what it is. You can... Okay, so they have expanded the roster to 55, I guess. On game days. That's what it is. Or they're going to at some point, but they started with that. I don't know. At some point or another, though, that's the thing. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Raiders have won one game since Deshaun Jackson went there. I agree, Nolan. I don't agree with the roster at all. I remember I had Leroy Irvin on my show, and he's like, they should expand the roster to 65. And I was like, yep. Seems ridiculous. It's all about money, which I get. It's a business, but at least accommodate for it. I'm sure there's a control group that looks at this and be like, okay, there's a lot of injuries this year. We should probably add something. But yeah, guys, it's been a lot of fun. Kind of going back to, earlier when we were talking about MCU. Really excited for Spider-Man. Really excited to finish this series. Really enjoying Cloak and Dagger. If you guys haven't already checked it out, be sure to do that. Ties in with Roxxon and, some MCU stuff. And, on top of that, check out the Marvel Netflix stuff as well, And the reason I say that is because the multiverse is going to bring in a lot of those characters. It's already confirmed that Matt Murdock, Daredevil, will be in the MCU moving forward. So will Karen Page. So will Foggy Nelson. So will Kingpin. Just I'd watch some of those because Jessica Jones is 100% coming back. Punisher will be coming back at some point. I would imagine Luke Cage, although for whatever reason there's rumors about him being recast. I thought Mike Coulter did a great job, and there is the potential, I don't know if they'll do it, but there is the potential that we will get Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Iron Fist, but we'll see about that. That's a rumor about the second movie in that series coming out. The new Hawkeye show is very good, and it ties into what is currently happening with the MCU. So definitely recommend that. Terry Crews as Luke Cage, that would be interesting. Gotta say, I'm surprised you had Into the Spider-Verse at number 7 on your Spider-Man list. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I don't know. I think it's maybe because it was animated. I enjoy live action more. But, I mean, hey, at least, I liked it. Most animated I don't like. By the way, before I sign off, shout out to Matthew Stafford. When he threw that touchdown to Van Jefferson, I don't think I've ever seen a quarterback looked that sure of itself, that excited, that energetic about a throw. I mean, like, he was just like, yes! It was crazy. But, yeah, guys, I think that's going to do it. We've been live for a while. Yeah, 60 air yards. That's nuts. We've been live for a while. So I think I'm going to close it out here. Appreciate everyone that donated. Appreciate everyone that watched. All 3,419 of you. Appreciate everyone that liked. Appreciate everyone that subscribed. You guys are the best. I haven't been able to do this. I wouldn't have been able to do all of this without you. And appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to continue to do this, continue to make a living, and on top of that, have the opportunity to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the month. It's going to be tough. We're at December 14th, but I think we can do it. Just going to have to work my absolute tail off to try to make that happen. So again, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate your appreciation of me. I'll be back soon. We'll do a Downtown Rams podcast tomorrow. Alexis Kraft and I will cover the game, and do a post game breaking down and everything, and then we'll get on to Seattle and do that. We'll have a Spider-Man video at some point, spoiler free, and then maybe a spoiler, live stream the next week after or something. We'll get back to doing the horror movie podcast. Me and Jarrett on this channel, and that's what we have planned. So you guys take care. I love y'all. You be good people, and I will see you guys soon. The Rams have won their 9th game of the season, beating Arizona 30-23. You guys take care. Enjoy Victory Tuesday. Later.